Late last night, police found the body of Summer Inman stuffed into a septic tank outside of a church. The mother-in-law, Sandra Inman, told police where to find her. She, her husband, and her son, both named William Inman, are all charged in the disappearance, and murder charges could soon follow. William Inman II was married to Summer Inman, but the two were going through a divorce, and there was a custody issue over their 3 children.
It has been very difficult to go with this case and make contact with her family each day, not knowing what has happened to their daughter.
Today, that same family watched as the 3 people believed responsible for Summer Inman's disappearance and possibly her death, one by one, came into court.
Basically, the agreement we have here is a plea bargain type deal. And it says that you will plead guilty to murder and kidnapping. And the state will recommend, and we talked about this is a recommendation from the state through the prosecutor's office. It's not exactly binding on the judge. If the judge goes along with these things routinely, that they will recommend 9 years on the murder charge and 3 years on the kidnapping to be run consecutive for a total of 12 years. Here's the thing, that's what their recommendation is on you. They will also, the state will not pursue the death penalty against the co-defendants. Now, the co-defendants are your husband and your only child. Yes. And for you to carry out this deal, they want you to disclose the location of the victim, which is Summer, and the details of the crime, and testify truthfully against the co-defendants as permitted by law, as much as you know it. And this deal is dependent upon the confirmation of the location of the body and details of the crime.
That she's in China, anything like that?
No, it's the same.
Like a cistern, the lid that you pop up.
So it's like a cistern is like just a tank, and she's on inside the tank. When did you guys put her in there? The same night that? Give me just 1 second. I'll make sure these guys can do what they need to do, and I'll be right back, and we'll finish up.
You're going to send them out. They're going to confirm the bodies in there.
Exactly.
You've got a done deal.
Exactly.
We want her out of there.
Well, and I do too.
You too.
All right, I'll be right back. Just start at the very beginning. I know that Summer and you call it Willie, so what you're saying?
Yeah.
I know they were having some marital issues and things.
Yeah.
I think it was some custody issues coming up. And I don't know what the arrangements were on the kids and all that. I won't get into that. That's something that we'll get later, I'm sure. We'll try to know. Whose idea was it to take her, to get her?
I think it was probably my idea more than anybody, because I kept on and on and on about, why won't she work with us? We're only asking for weekends. And I thought she used to work with us on weekends, and Willie loves them. And
so it was your idea to kidnap her? To grab her? Did you know when you kidnapped her that she was going to end up dead?
No. Oh, Lord, no.
Okay.
I thought I could talk to her.
Okay. So the whole thing was just to try to scare her, get some sense into her, and that's what
Yeah. In my mind, whenever I wanted to go there, it made sense that, just talk to her. That whenever he got her in the thing, he had to build roads. Bill never touched her or nothing.
Well, now, wait a minute now. You mean when you
Whenever we drove out, we drove out. Bill helped her up in the car.
Okay, I was going to say, because the witnesses saw police blonde driving.
No, I wasn't police blonde. I had a, Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, they saw blonde hair.
Okay. I didn't have much sleep. I've been down in the hallway. My mind is just so bloated.
Well, let's take the time.
Okay. So, my son, I believe, put things in on the hand right here. It's like one of time. You just
Like
pick it up and...
a zip tie? Like a plastic zip tie?
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me draw another one. You might be a good artist before the night's over, aren't I? Okay, now this is the bank, and here was the dumpster, and this was the alley that went down, and then there was a parking lot down here behind the B&B. That's kind of what that was. And there were some hedges here.
Yeah.
Who was it that was at the hedges that actually grabbed her and then jumped out from behind the dumpster?
He was my son.
Okay, so this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
In your mind, she was never supposed to end up dead.
No, no.
Okay. You were just going to scare her.
Well, I'll
Try to talk some sense into it.
yeah. Beg her, please let me see, how the ship and everything.
So when they got her into the car, what was she trying to do?
She was, I don't know, he tied up her hand.
Okay, so what is it? Is it
Yeah,
her?
just with her hand.
Did you guys ever take those off of her? Or do you think she still got them on?
She couldn't find a knife or couldn't do anything. And it happened so quick in my mind, that it's like I was telling her, and I don't know if Tom Willie was I don't know.
So she died as a result of what Willie did to her then?
Well, I don't think I know positively he didn't do it on purpose.
Okay.
Because they were like, he was like telling her he loved her and this and that, and the next thing he knew, it was like he blacked out or something because he was like, where's the knife, He wanted his off her neck real quick.
Why did he put that on her neck?
I think he blacked out, I don't know how I explain it, he just blacked out because he looked at me like, oh my God, Mom, where's the knife, and I couldn't find it.
Was she like screaming and yelling and making a long racket?
Well, she was screaming and she was telling me that we'd probably never see this kid again.
Did your husband help you put that on?
No. I know he didn't need to because the look in his eye was like, oh my God, Mom, where's the knife,
I'm not sure we got the exact spot here. All right, I'm sitting here with her. Maybe she can help guide us. But there's some kind of a cistern or tank or something that she's in it, along with property, purse, money, private keys, everything else. She should be zip tied. There's a set of tire tracks behind the church that back up halfway. And towards the other end of the church, towards Logan, there's a green tank lid that's screwed in it. It appears to be a septic tank. That is. Yes, sir, that is it. Okay.
It's just, my mind is just so, unreal, and if it weren't for me, keep on about the kids, we wouldn't have done that. I know it's my fault.
Well, it's all three of you.
It's mainly my fault.
Well, but he took all three of you too. Your husband and your son both held her against her will, put her in the car, did restrain her. I mean, it was all three of you. It may have been your idea to begin with, but they went right along.
They've done it for me. I think they done it for me. I never did.
Anything else happened to her? Anybody have sex with her? Nothing like that?
No, sex.
Any other kind of physical abuse on her?
No, not that I know of at all.
So she was just zip tied here and then one put around her neck and it got too tight and that's what... And you think that that's what killed her then? Just that thing strangulated her?
I think so.
Whose idea was it to put her behind the church? Down in that tank?
Down in the tank?
Mm-hmm.
That was mine.
Right. And you knew that tank was back there?
Well, I knew it was back there with water.
So you were gonna, the idea was to go ahead and try to put her in water? Like the river's back there?
Yeah, that's what was in my mind.
The river?
And then I seen that tank, I was like, rolling my find down here. And then I was so ashamed of it.
For the record, I'm not going to argue one way or another on the motion. I would just state that I did not file the motion, as you know. Sandra Inman did file the motion. I was on vacation last week. I wasn't down there to see her last week.
Yes, sir.
I haven't been down as much as she wants me to go down there and talk to her and And I wanted to address that because we've been waiting on decisions, whether she's competent, whether she's not competent. So I didn't see a big reason to go down and see her on a regular basis, just on an as is needed, necessary to see her. One of the problems that she has, and I will bring this up, and I think her biggest problem is she wanted copies of the competency evaluations, the psychological evaluations. And as the court's aware, I know we went through that with the news media. You didn't want them released in the news media, just the cover sheet, the results of it.
Yes, sir.
So I did not copy them for Sandra Inman because I wasn't sure where they would go if I copied them for her. Now, I did take them down to let her see them, but as you know, there's like 4 of them, and it's quite lengthy, and I'm not sure how much she would understand it, but it's going to be a process where I have to go down. Unless you advise me to release them to her, I have no problem with that, Your Honor. I will release them, but you kind of said don't give them to the media, they're for the attorneys only, so I did not give them to Sandra Inman. But I have let her read them, and she started to read them. It would take her approximately 3 or 4 hours to read the reports, and I'm willing to do that, to sit down there with her and go over them with her, or read them to her, or let her read them and then explain what it says. I think that's her biggest problem. Now, the first one is I didn't visit her enough, and we failed to provide documentation that's in our possession. That's the report she's talking about here. And we can resolve that. Either I can go down and spend time with her, or I can copy the reports and give them to her. Whatever the court chooses, I'm willing to do either one. But she's entitled to see him, and I realize that, and I wasn't really purposely trying to withhold him from her. As you know, we haven't fully addressed the issue of insanity and competency, and in fact, the prosecutor said he just filed the 10-day response to our motion to dismiss, so that's in our box now, so I'll be looking at that. So that part of the case may be resolved, I don't know. The last part of the motion is founded on certain actions taken on her behalf while she was under the influence. And I did, since I came back from vacation, I went down and talked to Sandra yesterday about that. I believe what she's talking about is when I first met her, she was under the influence of some medications that she was taking. And she says that when she made the admission about where the body was, that she was under the influence of medications, and I shouldn't have released that. I should have known that she was under the influence of medications.
Your name is Sandra Inman, correct?
Yes, I am.
And since March of last year, you've been residing at the regional jail, is that correct?
Yes, I have.
All right. Now, what I'm concerned about, Ms. Inman, is there was a motion filed on February 14th. It appears there was a handwritten motion. It was a motion for substitution of court-appointed counsel. Did you file that, ma'am?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you write that out?
This is my handwriting. Yes, it is.
Okay. And you signed it, correct?
I signed it. That's my signature.
Okay. And it indicates here that you possibly want new attorneys. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, any other issues at this point?
Well, whenever I said about being under the influence for about 2 weeks, I thought that they were trying to kill me down there where I've never taken drugs before, and then I really I'd done something I shouldn't have done, and I was seeing things. I didn't know I was seeing things, and I believed them for months.
All right.
And that's why I put that down.
At this point, you want to perhaps talk to your attorneys and review these reports, and then, so at this point, I gather you're not asking for a new attorney, but you can do that again later if you'd like.
I had that option if they don't come down and see me and stuff.
Okay, all right, so we'll handle that in this way then. So what I'll do is I'll deny the motion at this point, and she can file another motion later, of course, if she desires. I'll write an order on how these reports are going to be handled so that they don't get out.
A grandmother pleads guilty today in a Hocking County courtroom to the killing of the mother of her grandchildren. Then the judge handed down her fate. ABC 6's Lisa Rontola joins us with the latest on the state versus Sandra Inman. Lisa?
Yolanda, this 47-year-old grandmother won't be eligible for parole until she is 62 years old. She was emotional for the entire hearing and told Summer Inman's family that her murder was never supposed to happen. Sandra Inman changes her plea.
A first-degree felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And finally admits that she did help murder her daughter-in-law Summer last March with her husband William and son William Jr.
You supported the only people who abused you to kill the only one who loved you.
The prosecutor read letters that Summer's parents wrote.
From the moment I met you, Bill and Willie, I knew not to trust Bill or Willie, but you I trusted.
Sandra's attorney said she had helped carry out the crime out of fear for her grandchildren. She claimed the kids kept showing up at her house with bruises after Summer had left William Jr. and taken the kids. Now she hears they're being told the painful truth.
Daddy killed Mommy. Daddy strangled Mommy. Daddy and Pawpaw tortured and strangled Mommy. Nana only drove the car, listened to the torture cries and screams, and watched Mommy be buried in a septic tank.
Sandra is the one who told investigators where they could find Summer's body. And with pictures of her loved ones close by, Sandra finally apologizes to Summers.
This was never supposed to happen, ever, never. It was just that I love Summer, and I want you to know how sorry I am.